Exactly 1 year ago, I sat on a call with a client with chronic constipation. She'd been suffering from it for many years and it got worse post-menopause. She had a lot of inflammation, bloating, and gas. Now, here's the interesting part. She ate cleaner than most people I knew. She exercised every single day. She'd gone all in on supplements, and I think at that point she was taking 20 pills per meal. But her digestive system refused to move. Now, after going through our 4-month detox blueprint program, she's had one of the best transformations we've ever seen. Literally 180'd herself. In this video, I'll be diving into what happened during constipation and how we solved it naturally for this client, and how you can do exactly the same. Also, if you want to know more about the specifics of the transformation this client had, check out the video in the description. So most people have experienced constipation at some point, but very few actually understand what it is. It's often dismissed as an inconvenience, annoying at best, and just part of modern life. In reality, chronic constipation is anything but harmless. And for many people, it quietly dictates how they feel every single day. At its simplest, constipation means the body is failing to eliminate waste efficiently and regularly. Material and waste matter that should be leaving the body is being retained, and that has consequences far beyond just feeling backed up. Think of the digestive tract as the transport system with one very clear job. The food enters, it gets broken down, the nutrients get absorbed and then assimilated, then the waste is created, it's compacted, and then it exits out. Pretty simple process. But when someone is constipated, that final stage slows and stalls. It's like a motorway where suddenly the traffic grinds to a halt. Nothing behind it can move efficiently, and the pressure starts to begin and build throughout the entire system. And listen, if you've ever driven past a traffic jam on the opposite side of the road, you've seen how quickly that congestion cascades backwards. And as the waste accumulates, the colon becomes distended and sluggish, and this affects digestion upstream. Emptying of the stomach becomes impaired, and that manifests in bloating and feeling sluggish, and also your nutrient absorption also becomes compromised. Basically, the entire digestive process loses rhythm because the endpoint is blocked. And this is where constipation becomes a systematic issue, not just an issue with your bowels. Your stool is not a passive substance. It contains metabolic waste, microbial byproducts, and toxins the body is actively trying to remove. So when that waste sits in the colon for too long, those compounds can be reabsorbed back into circulation. And this can drive low-grade inflammation, it can increase overall toxic load in the body, and it places a strain on your liver and also your immune system. That's why chronically constipated people always feel fatigued, sluggish, foggy, inflamed, and generally unwell. Back in the day, constipation was just seen as something that you got as you got older because gut motility slows down, you have less stomach acid, you have poorer bile flow, and less digestive capacity. And over time, these factors stack together and progressively impair the body's ability to eliminate effectively. But now what's changed is who constipation affects. I'm seeing severe constipation in people in their 20s and 30s. It's people who exercise, they eat well, they take loads of supplements. So age alone is no longer the determining factor. Our modern lifestyles are. So if constipation isn't simply about getting older or eating more fiber, the real question becomes this: what exactly is disrupting the body's ability to do something that it's naturally designed to do? Most people are given the same advice when they're constipated. Eat more fiber, drink more water, maybe add a laxative if things get really bad. And listen, sometimes that stuff works, but in many cases it doesn't, or it works briefly and then stops. That's because chronic constipation today is rarely the result of a single missing ingredient. It's usually the outcome of multiple systems being out of balance all at the same time. So the goal isn't to force bowel movements. The approach is to treat the symptom, not the cause of the issue. So the real objective here is to restore the internal conditions that allow the body to eliminate naturally, because trust me, the body wants to naturally eliminate every single day. Because a healthy digestive system is designed to move waste daily without effort, without strain, without intervention. You should just sit in the toilet and it all comes out naturally. Being constipated is a sign that something within the environment, whether that's internally or externally, is disrupted. So when I look closely at patterns across hundreds of different cases I've worked on over the years, a few key drivers show up again and again and again, driving the issue of constipation. This is why my approach will differ from a lot of the advice that you hear out there. Trust me, it's not about adding in another supplement or chasing the short-term fixes for relief. The goal here is to restore balance rather than suppressing the symptom and just finding that quick relief. So I usually see 3 primary drivers of constipation today. The first driver is dehydration, but not in the way most people think. It's not about how much water you drink. It's about your mineral status. I've said this so many times. Without adequate minerals, the body cannot function on so many levels, including proper elimination. You can drink plenty of water and still remain functionally dehydrated with dry, compacted stool. Now, the second driver is poor bile flow. Trust me, bile plays such a critical role in not just digestion, but also elimination. It acts as a natural lubricant in your intestinal tract. So when bile production becomes impaired, stools become dry and difficult to move. Basically, no bile means no flow. And the third driver is a dysregulated nervous system. If the body is chronically stuck in fight or flight, digestion becomes a low priority. Peristalsis slows down, blood flow to the gut decreases, and elimination pretty much just shuts down. You simply cannot digest or eliminate efficiently in a state of chronic stress. And then if you layer on what I like to see as the secondary layers, which is ultra-processed food, medication overuse, chronic stress every single day, sedentary lifestyles, constipation stops becoming a mystery and it becomes pretty much predictable. And this is exactly what we saw with this client. She had done all of the obvious things: super clean eating, daily movement, a long list of supplements, but nothing was shifted until we addressed these foundations. And that's when her digestion finally started to move again. And when you correct these imbalances, the benefits go far beyond bowel movements, trust me. Your digestion improves, but so does your energy, your sleep quality, your mental clarity. And also, side bonus, your skin health improves. Because elimination isn't just an isolated process. It's one of the body's primary detox systems. And when it becomes compromised, everything else in that system feels it. So now that you understand what's actually driving constipation, the next question becomes this: how do you fix it in a way that's sustainable without turning your life into an overwhelming protocol? So this is really important. What I'm about to explain only really works when it's treated as a practice, not a quick fix. I'm not interested in hacks that force the result for just a few days. Lasting change comes from habits and systems. So when you create the right inputs, day after day, the body is able to correct itself. James Clear in his book, Atomic Habits, put this perfectly. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. This is about building a simple daily structure that supports elimination naturally. So here's how I structure this on a daily basis. First thing in the morning, get in your daily minerals. This should be one of your daily rituals, not an afterthought. Having a mineral drink every single morning will support proper hydration at a cellular level that will work wonders for your digestion. I also created a short mineral guide on how to get more minerals into your diet. So if you want that, the link is in the description. And also, just as important as having minerals is the quality of your water. So if you haven't already, do not drink tap water or even bottled water. You want to have your own purification system, whether that be distilled, reverse osmosis, even carbon filtration. It's really important that you purify your water, because if you don't filter your water, your liver becomes the filter. So the second practice is to promote bile flow. As I said before, bile flow is so important for overall health in the body, and it's so often overlooked. Most people have sluggish bile flow today, and it causes loads of downstream issues in the body, including constipation. So you can promote bile flow in so many ways. One way is to have Swedish bitters before a meal. You can have more bitter foods in your daily diet, and also having tukka before bed. That really helps promote bile flow overnight. And finally, the third practice to get your bowels moving is to regulate your nervous system. Digestion does not happen efficiently when we are in a stressed state. So when you sit down to have your lunch, stop treating it like it's another task on your to-do list. I want you to pause, to say grace, to give thanks, take a breath. Trust me, this isn't a religious thing. This is about signaling to your nervous system that you're safe, you're calm, and you're ready to eat your food. There's a reason why this practice of saying grace has been part of our cultures for thousands of years. It's a reliable way to shift our body into a calmer state, which directly influences our digestion. Using breath work is also another amazing tool. Soma breath is excellent at shifting the body out of that fight or flight state. The founder of Soma Breath, my good friend Niraj, has an amazing method specifically at addressing constipation, and I'll put that in the link below. Now listen, if you're really stuck and in a pinch and you just need to get things out of you, Here are a list of what I call my backstop solutions. Firstly, magnesium oxide in the evenings. A brand like Oxy Powder is great and can help with elimination. Also, you might want to consider using water enemas. They are amazing for when things are severely backed up, to just release things out. And also, water enemas are great for more than just constipation. If you've got a headache, for example, or you just feel a bit sluggish, doing a water enema can pick you right back up. But remember, these things are tools. They are not strategies. They'll absolutely give you relief, but I wouldn't rely on Oxy Powder or water enemas the whole time to make sure that you go. So I want to finish off the video giving you some additional support and areas to consider. So firstly, adding in some lacto-fermented foods like sauerkraut or kefir to help the general microbiome health of your digestive system. Secondly, adding in meat stock to heal and seal the gut and also gives you a ton of minerals. You also can add in castor oil packs in the evening. That helps support the liver and also your lymphatic system. And also you want to focus on whole foods and removed ultra-processed foods. I know it's a no-brainer, but sometimes we kind of get caught up in daily life and we don't realize how much ultra-processed food that we're eating. Also, look at your supplements and your medications. A lot of them can really impact your ability to go regularly. Get a squatty potty if you don't have one. It gets your body in the natural position for pooping really well. I've been using it for a long, long time. It's fantastic. Don't be sedentary. You want to move your body. You want to get out, go for walks, exercise. We're designed to move, so make sure you're moving as much as you can. Listen, this isn't about doing everything perfect, right? It's about getting the fundamentals dialed in. When you create the right conditions, the body responds. And that's how digestion is restored naturally. The client we dealt with followed this process every single day until she started seeing results. And that's the only way this works. Because solving a chronic issue isn't easy, but it's so worth it, especially through natural detoxification. If you struggle with other chronic issues like insomnia, skin problems, or just generally tough digestion, I put together a guide that shares my 10 most powerful detox tips after working with hundreds of similar cases. The link is in the description. And for those of you who actually do the work, here's what happens inside your body when detoxification begins. The changes most people are never told about. Check it out.